Hi everybody, it's Jill Blanchett with Green Thumb Stampers. I'm back for the fourth and final card from the All the Little Things Paper Pumpkin Kit for April. And I'm just going to show you real quick. Here's the card I'm going to make. And it is going to use this piece. And then I've got the 3 layers of my own cardstock. So this is all we're going to use from the kit. But I'm going to just show you, we're going to punch out all the segments from it, and then I cut them all out. So I'm going to come up like this, and I'm just going to cut everything out. And so I'm going to pause and come back after I've got it all done so that you don't have to sit here and watch me cut it all. But what I want to tell you, well, I could tell you when I come back. I'll give you my tips and stuff when I come back. But for now, I'm going to pause you off and I'm going to cut all of these pieces out and then I'll show you how we put it together. All right, as I'm cutting away, I wanted to show you that these stems are going to get pretty skinny. So when you're coming around your leaves, feel free to leave a little bit of extra white, just because you want to make sure you don't cut them off. If you cut your stem off, then you've just lost the whole leaf. So as you can see, I've got some extra white in here. So don't let that bother you. Go ahead and do that on purpose if you want to on some of those tight spaces. And I'll show you how to fix that. Okay, once you have everything all cut out, get yourself a black Stampin' Right marker. Maybe a Sharpie might work. But then you just want to come through and clean up any of those spots that you left the extra white so that you didn't cut off the leaf. Go ahead and just clean those stems and stuff up with your marker. And then that way you can't really then tell that you have cut it super close or left the extra space on there instead of cutting it super close and almost cutting the leaves off. So go ahead and do that on your pieces. And then when that's done, flip them over and put dimensionals on all your leaves and some like down here on your stem, because we're creating a floating frame type of idea. And which is pretty much the same as what this piece is, but we're cutting apart to spread it out and have a more dramatic white in the back. So let's do that and I'll be back. All right, we have all the dimensionals on. Let me slide these out of the way a little bit. We're going to use a base that is 11 inches by 4 1/4. Score it or fold it at 5 1/2. Then I've got that's balmy blue. Then I have a basic black base that is 1/8 of an inch smaller than that. So it's 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. I'm going to go ahead and glue that on. And now feel free to do yours on the 1/4 if you want. You can do that as well. And it'll make a little bit bigger border, but you'll lose some of the depth of your leaves. So then we have a basic white piece that is 5 1/4 by 4. And I have embossed it using the new 3D Basics embossing folders. Oh, the one with the little hash mark lines all over it. And we're going to proceed to glue our leaf pieces onto this. Tip though, before you get started taking the backs off your dimensionals, lay them out on your paper first, on your white paper, because where these are cut across, that's going to be what you want to line up with your white. I hope that makes sense. And if you don't mind cutting them off a little bit more, you can finagle them around but you'll want to just see how you want to lay them out on your paper. I'm going to pull that up a little bit. You don't have to lay them out like they show up on the on that original piece. I don't know where I stuck it to show you, but you can just trim all these off how you want and then stick them on. So that they come up to the edges like how you want them. And then don't worry about the overhang. You can go back and trim that off at the end. Bring this one down here. Actually, I'm going to turn it like this so I got a better handle on it. We got to get the leaf at least to the edge of the paper. And this one at least down to the edge without ripping and tearing and peeling. And so we'll get that over there like that. Oops, I'm not down far enough. So this is where, like I say, you can finagle them around. Again, we want to make sure that these are down to the end. This guy's over to the side. All right, I'm going to pause you while I try and, oh, maybe not. I think I might have it now. Just trying to get them lined up there. Straight, but at least to the edge. There we go. Pull that guy in. And then I got another little one here that we can try and stick on. And then I have just one of the basic leaves that was left over. I think we cut off 2 of those. I just was filling in the empty space with that. So now you can go ahead and trim off any pieces that hang over. Use your trimmer if you want. Trim those off. And then we will adhere that to the front of our card base with some adhesive. Go ahead and use your green glue if you want. Whatever works for you. Sticking it down with my snail for another little something you can remember. You may, when you use your embossing folders, you may trim that down to your final size after you emboss, because the embossing depends what it is and how much detail there is. It will change the size of your paper, and you don't want to end up with it too short or too narrow because the embossing shrunk it down. All right, so that's what our card looks like. And then I cut a few pieces to the sentiment that I used, and I used the With Deepest Sympathy. And I have my white is 1 3/4 by 1, and then I just went up 1/8 of an inch on the other 2 layers. So We should have 1 1/8 by 1 7/8. And then we have 1 1/4 by 2. All right, so we can glue those down. And I just layered these like I did the card base. You don't have to use all 3 colors. I'm going to use black for the With Deepest Sympathy from the stamps we got. And then I just used my Tuxedo Black Memento ink. I can't see. Okay. And I'll glue that one on. Now I did not use any bling, any ribbon, nothing on this one. So you could definitely have a masculine card going on here. Or you could add some of the gems that came with it if you wanted. Or that did come with black ribbon or twine stuff as well. I'm going to just pop that up there in the middle. Or you could, you know, if you'd rather go off to the side, cover up whatever you feel like covering up. If you want to cover up some stems and part of the leaf, it's kind of neat off to the side like that as well. I think maybe I'm going to do this one like that over there. I like that. So I'm going to put a dimensional right in the middle over here, because I'm going to pop that up, and then I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive where I think I'm going to hit the leaves and such. So we're going to go right there. And that is our 4th card. You can put something on the inside. I did not on this one. But that's our 4th and final card for this kit.